Okay, so I'm probably gonna start doing some research into arthritis or arthritis in the back. Cause like I mentioned in my videos about the medical gaslighting and all the crap that's been going on, which they're unlisted now, but the playlist is linked under, it'll be linked under this video if I even have it public, but it's under what was that called? Oh yeah, a video titled Medical Gaslighting or People's Stories of Medical Gaslighting. I had linked the playlist about my health going downhill 5+ years ago because it's related to that, obviously. And yeah, so anyway, I mentioned in one of those videos in the playlist that I had started having some back issues when I was camping on the hill. Maybe before that, but I really don't remember having any pain before that. Definitely not like what I've been having. So yeah, started having back pain when I was camping on the hill. Bad idea, but options were, well, honestly, I could have camped in a more flat spot in the valley type thing that I was camping in, but I was told some bull crap about how being on the hill would be better for when it rained. Not high up on the hill, but kind of lower where it's a little more flat, which it wasn't flat enough, obviously, for a lot of reasons. But that did nothing when it rained. In fact, when it actually did start raining really hard and my tent flooded, it collapsed, flipped, it flipped upside down, and then it slid down the hill. Luckily, I got out way before then because I don't even know what would happen if I wouldn't have, but I got out way before that happened. But still, that was a bad idea. Really wish I wouldn't have listened to that advice, because now the whole back thing is a new issue. But anyway, fast forward. That was when I was 17. Fast forward. I turned 18, was finally able to go to doctors and stuff and all that. So, I didn't want to do it at first because I didn't even want to get medical insurance or go to a doctor ever again because I already have so much medical trauma. And it's when I originally really, really started to get sick, I was still kind of in denial about how sick I actually was because of all the gaslighting and stuff. But when I really, really did start to get sick and then the schools would say I needed to be taken to the ER and all that stuff was going on when I was 16. And I think even before the whole school thing, when I was 16, the doctors had finally asked why in the world I was 80 pounds. Took them years to ask. Well, not even it took them years to ask. I mean, it took doctors in general years to ask that question. But this was in Georgia where they finally asked. When I was in North Carolina, doctors never said anything about anything. But I'm about to go somewhere else. But yeah, so they finally asked that. Then a while after that, unless this was after, but I'm pretty sure this was before. So a while after that, the whole thing started happening more often, at least, where schools started saying that I needed to be taken to the ER. And I would have to go through a lot of medical gaslighting. So yeah. The point was that I already didn't like doctors because of all the usual cash for kids system medical abuse that I went through, which is always going to happen if you're ever a victim to the cash for kids system. It never fails. You're always going to get false labels and all that. But just the fact that when I really actually had issues and really was sick, the doctors played all types of mind games and I couldn't even get tests. And then it's the tests that they did do where they tested me for different nutrient deficiencies and stuff like that. Everything that they tested me for came back either way too high or way too low. But they never looked into what was actually going on. I mean, sure, I got the cellulite and what was the other thing? Lyme disease. I think Lyme disease test. But I mean, I didn't have those, obviously. Now looking back at my symptoms, it's pretty obvious what I did have. But regular doctors usually don't even look into gut issues. In fact, they don't look into root cause at all. But the thing is, how this is supposed to work with doctors is that when they test for one thing and it's not that, they're supposed to test for other stuff. And honestly, the whole cellulite thing was some bullcrap. Because from what I did see from researching that, that's something I would have had to be born with anyway. So I wouldn't have started having symptoms years and years later down the line, I don't think. But either way, with my symptoms, it was really obvious I didn't have that. The Lyme disease, I feel like that didn't have anything to do with any of my symptoms either. Cellulite, maybe some of them. Well, honestly, no. Just one of them. The whole gluten thing. And how I had all of a sudden started having, like, well, not even certain, what is it called, food sensitivities. I mean, I really can't eat too much of anything without pain, to be honest. Everything hurts. Some stuff does hurt worse. But for celiac disease, I would have had to already had been having issues like that. It wouldn't have started years and years later down the line. Not that many. So yeah, all of that is why I really didn't even want to try doctors again. Well, that's not even half of it actually. I go into like the accusations I would get about where my pain was coming from in the other videos in the playlist about my health, which is going to be in the description. But anyway, to get to the point, finally was talked in getting medical insurance and going to the doctor. Finally did it after a while. And I mean, of course, even before this, I did lie about my age and stuff to go to a homeless doctor. And that went how that went. He brought up H. pylori. I was thinking SIBO because I finally stopped like lying to myself about the fact that I was chronically ill and actually decided to start trying to do research, which people have a problem with. I don't know why people have a problem with that though. And people will be like, you shouldn't try to seem like a researcher and you shouldn't do research on your issues. I mean, the thing is, if you're sitting around in pain 99% of the time to where you can barely do too much of anything because, yeah, I mean, you can barely stand up and a whole bunch of other things I don't even want to get into, you would start to wonder too. And honestly, with the access we have to the internet these days, I don't really think there is a reason for somebody to just sit around and not try to figure out anything. Doesn't mean you have to get paranoid with it. But I mean, at the end of the day, when you can't get doctors to do any tests, all you can really do is guess, which of course you don't want to do. Especially not if you're like wanting to treat yourself naturally with herbs and stuff like I do. Because the thing with that is that, I mean, I could go by symptoms, but I'd rather actually know exactly what's going on. Because I've already spent a lot of money on that type of stuff when I already have not been in the situation to even be throwing money around. Because, like, I mean, of course, when I was under 18, I couldn't work at all. Still haven't managed to, like, find a job yet, and now it's kind of, like, difficult since I'm in school now, which is why I wanted to get a job before I started school, which messed it up a little. But basically, I was fighting for residency for a long time. And so, during that time, and even before that, I really wanted to try to get a job then. But that didn't work out. And of course, when I was under 18, I couldn't work anyway. So, yeah. So, point is, I've been busking for like money. So, selling my art and stuff like that. That's where the money was coming from. For me to buy like these natural herbal things. I mean, they do work. And I really feel like I just need to stop being impatient. Because it's like I take it for a little while and then I get mad and I stop taking the stuff. But it's like some work at first, but then after a while the pain is the same. Or some stuff almost seems like it's getting worse. And people say things get worse before they get better or something like that. But I don't really know if that's a good sign. And I already have so much trauma with quote unquote meds anyway, to where I can't even really take even natural herbal supplements for a long time because then I start to worry about side effects, even though the stuff that I'm taking, well, yeah, the stuff that I'm taking, other than like maybe the what was that thing called, the L-glutamine, stuff like that. That could have side effects, but other things wouldn't have any side effects, and it's really just the trauma, but the medical trauma. But yeah, so now to get to the point. Wait, was I finished with that last point? I think I was, but I don't even remember, so I'm just gonna keep going. To get to the point, the chiropractor told me I had arthritis. I mentioned this in the other videos, and that my back was swollen, and that's why it was hurting. And then he had pointed out the whole limited neck mobility thing. I thought that he was just using the usual salesman talking points, because I don't trust any type of medical professionals anyway. So I didn't believe him, but then like a week plus, well, no, a little while after my first couple of appointments, I actually decided to feel my back one day while it was hurting, like my lower back, because my middle and upper back hurt too, but lower back hurts more sometimes anyway. So I felt that one day while I was in a lot of pain, and I realized that actually it was swollen. And so I was like, well, maybe what he was saying was true. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, side thing. Might have already said this. I don't know. He pointed out the limited neck mobility thing, and honestly, now to think about it, I've been thinking about this for a couple of days now. I think that had been an issue, but I never really thought about it like that. And I never really thought about the fact that I could like barely look down without my middle back hurting and like having a straining feeling. I think that had probably been an issue, but way before the hill, but I just never really thought about it. And I think it kind of goes back to all the like gaslighting I would get all the time with relatives, to where I would never really think much about all the issues that I was having that I shouldn't have been having. But yeah, that's kind of whatever though. I don't really know what causes that. He also pointed out me barely being able to like look to the left and right too, but I don't really feel like it's that bad. I feel like if anything, the pain that I get from looking down is more of an issue, but that's still kind of irrelevant because it's not even really like the main issue. So now I'm wondering though. Now I'm starting to like second guess the chiropractor again, basically. I'm wondering if it's even really arthritis or if it's something else. Cause like I feel I'm not trying to like downplay other people who have this issue, but I kind of feel like if it was just arthritis, it would hurt sometimes, but I wouldn't be in pain as much as I'm in. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not supposed to be walking around with a swollen back all day and then having pain when laying down and my back swollen when laying down and all that. I did notice that like the pain does get a little bit better when I'm in areas with air conditioning, which is like when I'm in class or when I go to the resource center that's for people 15 to 24, or when I'm like in stores or whatever. The pain hurts a little less. The swelling definitely does get worse when I'm like at the shelter or just outside in general, because no air condition and it's like 100 degrees, and that makes swelling worse. And then also the cold at night, which I don't really get that cold at night because I like use a sleeping bag. It's not a good one, but I use a whole bunch of covers too, and so that is warm. So I really don't feel like I should be in that much pain at night because I'm not that cold. But yeah, I noticed that, but I still kind of feel like if it was just arthritis, I wouldn't be in that much pain, but I could be wrong, which is kind of why I wish that like the PCP that I have now wouldn't play the games that they've been playing, which I mentioned in the other videos, like how he wanted to. Well, I don't even really want to go into that because then I'll be somewhere else. I mentioned that in the last video, but playing games, so I don't really know if they're gonna do some more X-rays or not, since like I don't have any printouts of the x-rays from the chiropractor. I did show some pictures I took of the x-rays. The doctor just said he didn't even believe the x-rays were me because I'm too tiny, quote unquote. And so that was it. And the bullcrap with that. Well, I said I wasn't going to go into this, but I am anyway, so I'm just going to keep going. The bullcrap with that, though, is that at the appointment where I had showed those pictures was the appointment where he claimed I was coming back in for the x-rays, which kind of threw me off anyway, because I didn't even know they had an x-ray thing in that building. But then he just went over, like, the H. pylori test and all that, and said that was negative and called it a day. Honestly, I really shouldn't have brought that stuff back up. It was a bad idea. Didn't get tested for the SIBO again, but it was just a bad idea. It's like, I don't know. It's like with the symptoms I was having and like me not really knowing what I have, but knowing that like H. pylori and SIBO were the least worst things I could have, somewhat. Well, yeah, compared to like the other things that I more likely could have, which they all usually coexist anyway. I just felt like maybe there was just some false negatives. Which, of course, like I said, the homeless doctor is the one who mentioned H. pylori to me, which honestly, that was only even mentioned because of the fact that I'm homeless. If it wouldn't have been for me being homeless, I wouldn't have ever even been told that I may have H. pylori, which was negative. The SIBO was negative, but like I said, I was never told I was supposed to fast before the breath test. That was from the homeless doctor, though. So, the second doctor, the PCP that I have now, didn't test me for SIBO because he said that the H. pylori test was negative, and so basically he was calling it a day. But I mean, honestly, that's not really how that's supposed to work, though. I shouldn't even mention those two things, the SIBO and H. pylori, because at the end of the day, if the first guesses weren't the case, if the first ones weren't the case, then I should be testing for something else to try to like figure out what it is. But the thing is, the real issue, like I said in other videos, is that for whatever reason I'm never referred to a gastro, because like someone said, which I mentioned in the other videos, someone had told me that they were shocked I was never referred to a gastro or whatever it's called all those years back when I originally got sick and dropped from like 120 to 80 pounds. And then like a year after that is when all the pain and the bloating and the barely being able to stand up and all that stuff had kicked in, and barely being able to eat and throwing up and all that. So, yeah, someone said that. Then the fact that I'm too young for the colonoscopy, and then as far as the endoscopy, I don't really know why that was never scheduled. I mean, the doctors can keep talking about how I'm too young for the colonoscopy, but honestly, I don't know why the endoscopy was never brought up. But I guess the same way the last time I went to the doctor at 16 and all the results came back either too high or too low, they just said that I was being starved at home and then called it a day. But never like sent me to a nutritionist, never did an endoscopy, none of that. Which, I mean, I guess they felt, well, I mean, I don't think this is making sense. I was trying to make a point, but now it's not coming out right. So that probably didn't make sense. So, yeah, anyway, I'm wondering if it's really arthritis or not. I mean, honestly, I would hope that that's not true, because at the end of the day, I still wasn't on that hill that long. So if I really even did get arthritis that quick, it would still be because of the underlying stomach issues I have and not taking in nutrients and all that, because there's no way that I would even get arthritis that quick unless there was already some stuff going on, which there obviously was and has been. But I still wonder if that's even true or not. And the chiropractor had also told me that I have pinched nerves and something else I can't remember. And obviously that's why I've been having muscle spasms sometimes. And that's kind of been an issue since the back issues came along. It's not like really bad, but like sometimes I just have like little weird spine feelings and little like jerks and stuff. Which I honestly feel like, wait a minute. Which is why I feel like, is it really even arthritis, or is it something where, like, maybe, dang, that voice crack, oh my gosh. I don't know. This is embarrassing. I mean, it happens every video, though, so I guess I shouldn't act like this is the first time. Now I'm, like, trying to get back my train of thought from the embarrassment. Anyway, still, back to the point. I'm wondering if, like, maybe something's just out of place that could go back into place, and that's what's causing the swelling and stuff, because I may need to just do more research, but, does arthritis lead to pinched nerves, and does it? Because, like, I don't know. I just, like, read about it more, which I haven't really read about it that much, but I'm thinking about starting, because I kind of feel like if it was that, I wouldn't be in pain as much as I am, which kind of is a little crappy, because, there's the stomach issue thing has been going on, and so now it's like when I'm not bloated and bent over, which also causes more back pain, but when I'm not bloated and bent over and all of that, and my stomach isn't hurting, then my back is hurting, which the back pain never really completely goes away. Sometimes it hurts less, but even when, like, my middle and upper back hurt less, the lower back pain is still there, and I feel like when laying down and sitting down, I'm laying down right now, and so right now, my lower back, my middle back, and my upper back hurt, but sometimes it's just like the lower back, especially when I'm, like, in places with air condition, but most of the time, it all hurts. But yeah, so when my stomach isn't hurting, now it's the back thing. And that's what's crappy about it, because it's like, I already had the stomach stuff going on, which caused a whole bunch of other issues. Probably even caused the back thing, to be honest. But, like, now, since being on that hill, there's the back issues. Probably nobody will watch this. But if anybody does watch this and you have any ideas, you can say whatever. That's kind of also why I make these videos overall, because I really want people who are in these types of situations to see that it's not their fault and see the truth of what's actually going on, but also, I don't know, kind of just to talk about side stuff that the systems do to people. And yeah, this is a medical system. But like I said, I already know that I will get better and that it's completely possible, but I kind of just want some type of idea of what's going on, so that way I can know exactly what I need to take and stop just throwing money around that what were those things called? Mastic gum and all that other stuff. It's helpful. And I really do need to actually, like, take something for the right amount of time. But the thing is, I also wanted to get stool tested. I know, like, for the stool test, I'd have to stop taking whatever for a while. But what point was I trying to make? Oh, yeah, so, like, I stopped taking it. No, this isn't going to make sense. Is it going to make sense? I don't know how to explain what I'm trying to say. Either way, I did end up getting the calprotectin test. I had talked about in other videos how some things that went kind of left, and I ended up luckily getting a refund. But they were able to fix the technical difficulty with, like, the birthday being wrong, because I didn't really think things through, because it wasn't letting me put my actual birthday. It was claiming I wasn't old enough to order a test, so then I put something else. Then I actually thought about how that could lead to so much more bull crap, which actually, Quest Labs never checked my ID, so I still could have lied about my age, but the thing is, the age that I put was so far off, and that was the issue. But of course, like I said, I put in a birthday that would say that I was 19, but that didn't work either. And so that's why I just jumped to something really offlandish. So anyway, they fixed that after I got the refund. And then I was still worried about how in the world I was going to freeze the stool test because it had to be turned in frozen for whatever stupid reason. So I got a cooler, and then I spent my busking money on some dry ice, which luckily I was even able to find a place that even sells dry ice. So I got that, and I used that. But the thing is, my schedule is really screwed up now because of being in school, and the fact that like when you're dependent off resource centers, especially in a place like this where everything opens at 12 p.m. and closes by 5, it really like makes it to where you can't do the things you really need to do. And then of course when you have no transportation, you're dependent on the bus. So I go to school, then I take a bus, which there's 3 buses that come back to the city I live in now. That bus could take, well, the different buses could take anywhere from 1 to 3 hours for me to even get back to the city that I stay in. So, get out of class at 12:40, which the class never actually ends at 12:40. It ends at almost 2, to be honest. Never at 12:40. Wish it did though. So, get on the bus 1 to 3 hours. Wait. What does this have to do? Wait a minute. Hold up. I'm trying to remember why I really even started talking about that. Either way, schedule was messed up, so I was already pretty late to the appointment to ask about. Wait, no, this was the one where I was actually turning the stool sample because I had made an appointment to ask about what to actually do since I don't have a freezer or a fridge. So the appointment was at 3:15, but I didn't even get back to this city till like 2:30 something. So I had to wait. Wait a minute. Okay, so I went to CVS to get a cooler because I had a CVS gift card from a resource center. Because, of course, they have quote unquote incentives. Not even going to get into that whole thing because I have videos about that incentive and no paycheck bullcrap. Anyway, got the cooler. And so, might have already had the cooler the day before, actually. I'm messing this story up. I think I got the cooler the day before, actually, because I really wanted to, like, have my priorities straight. So the only thing that I had to get this day was ice. I'm messing this up really badly. So, I already have a whole bunch of stomach issues to where I, like, have a lot of stomach pain, and then it's, like, sometimes after using the bathroom, the pain can go away, but sometimes it gets worse, and then I have to lay on my back for like 15 minutes to like 30 minutes, and then it'll go away. So I just had to hold it in all day because I wanted to do the stool sample, and this was really, really risky because I had to go to class, and it could cause a lot of pain. Well, it caused me to be in more pain than I'm usually in, but luckily it wasn't that bad, and I wasn't in pain like I thought I would be, because that could have went really horribly left. So, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I'm all over the place. So I said that part, threw that in. So that was earlier in the day. So after that, I went back to the city that I live in, and then I had to get on a bus to go to the other side of town, because that's where the Quest Lab is, and that's also where I had to go to get the dry ice. Luckily, that's in the same building, because the Quest Lab is in a grocery store that also has dry ice. But, wait a minute. Wait, I'm missing something. Okay, no. Got the dry ice. Okay, yeah, I remember now. So the appointment was at 3:15. And by the time that I got to like the grocery store that the Quest Lab was in to get the dry ice and for the appointment, it was already like 2:55. Well, no. No, it was 2:45 or something. Yeah, 2:45. Then they wanted to age check me for me to even get the dry ice. So then I got the dry ice. But then it comes in like a big rectangle type thing, which couldn't fit in the cooler because I had got a cheap cylinder igloo cooler that was like kind of like a really, really big water bottle for the people that think they're really supposed to drink that much water, but actually you're supposed to eat a lot of food with water in it. Side thing, because now I'm about to go somewhere else, and this is 30 minutes and 20 seconds. So, had to go somewhere to talk to some people I know who work in this like kind of like a mechanic type place. Anyway, had to go there to ask if they could help me break the dry ice up into cubes because I needed to get it in the cooler. So I went there. They gave me some rags to help me like pick up the ice pack thing and pour the ice in there. But then after that, I had to go to this coffee place to even use the bathroom so I could collect the sample. Because I forgot to mention that I had already had the sample container from like days prior before I had even canceled the original order because of all the stuff that I mentioned in other videos. So, use the bathroom, and by the time I get back to the Quest place, it was 3:15 on the dot. But luckily, I was able to like reschedule. Well, no, luckily I was still able to sign in, and then my appointment was moved to like a later time or something like that. I don't know. It was kind of acting weird, the computer thing, because they usually send me a message on my phone where I can log in from my phone, but I didn't get that time. I don't know why. So yeah, then luckily the appointment was moved to like uh 3:50, and so that gave my sample more time to possibly actually be frozen. I really don't know if it ever froze or not. It looked kind of frozen, but it's hard to tell because I mean it could have just been foggy. The container thing could have just been foggy from like the dry ice. So I don't really know if it actually froze or not. I hope it did because I could have saved a lot of money, to be honest. And so, still turning the sample for the calprotectin test. Hopefully it was frozen and I'm able to get like whatever results and it actually works. But tell me why they wanted me to do all of that, but then when I handed her the sample, she put it in the freezer. That was some bull crap. I kind of feel like they just want people to do that because they expect someone to like not do the sample the same day. Because I really feel like I could have saved like 40 something dollars. But yeah, so I turned in the sample. That was for the calprotectin test. It'll give me an idea of what's going on, but I mean, it can't diagnose any specific type of IBD, but it would still like give a inflammatory marker. And so, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and then I want to get. I mean, there's really this one that I really have been wanting to get for months on end before I even started to. Well, don't know what I was about to say, but I had been wanting to get like a GI map, or well, a gut microbiome test, but those are really expensive, and then I had to send it in the mail and everything. I also may even need like a doctor's note or something, which I would obviously never be able to get. Definitely not from a regular doctor. But I had been wanting to get one of those, but it's just really expensive. Honestly, if I would have saved all the money that I was throwing around at like the things that I've gotten, like the natural supplements and all that, I could have had the money to get it a long time ago. But yeah, I was just trying to like quickly fix something without actually knowing what was going on because I was just kind of fed up with the issue and I regret it. But I can't afford that. I did find one on Walking Labs website, which is where I had got the Quest calprotectin test. But it's like I think that's 400 and something. No, it's not. It's 200 and 300, something like that. I don't even remember. But that's too expensive. So like I was just gonna get a test for nutrient deficiencies. to see if I'm still like vitamin D and iron deficient, which honestly, I've had that my whole life, but I was specifically anemic. Well, honestly, I was anemic a couple times throughout my life, but at one point it was because of the metabolic syndrome and all the other stuff that the psychotropics cause. But at 16, I was white blood cell anemic and regular blood cell anemic, but that was never looked into, of course. The doctors told me that when they told me about how everything that they tested me for either came back way too high or way too low. So, I want to see if I still have iron deficiency, which I had my whole life, but it kind of went hand to hand with the anemia at some points. Then vitamin D deficient, which I also was my whole life, which was honestly really crazy because I was always outside. I mean, other than the times where like my situation got really bad when I wasn't allowed outside, but other than that, I mean, I was still always outside, to be honest, so it never made sense to me. I'm supposedly not anymore, but honestly, I don't really think that any doctors have tested me for it. Not the homeless doctor, even definitely not the PCP I have now, because all they did was like the little H. pylori test and something else revolving around that, but probably am. I don't know. They play so many games though, because the stupid thing about it is that insurance could cover it. Honestly, I may try to like see if I could just get the insurance to cover it, and I just like go to Quest to get it with the insurance instead of trying to scrape up money that I don't have without like a doctor's. No, I didn't even say that in order. Try to get the test with the insurance without a doctor's order, so I don't have to scrape up money that I don't have. But I don't know if that's possible or not. But I mean, it would be better. And that's exactly why I didn't even want to get insurance, because what's the point of getting insurance to still have to run around holding up a sign that says selling my art? I mean, of course I was looking for a job and still am, but that's going really drifty. So yeah, instead of having to hold up a sign to try to sell my art to get some test when I supposedly have medical insurance, it's bull crap, to be honest. But exactly why I don't like the medical systems. And it's also kind of annoying because, like I mentioned in the, what were those called? The homeless complex. Wait a minute. Homeless industrial complex videos about like the different programs that have homeless people working for no money and all that. In fact, I should make a whole video about that specific situation because this one thing that I signed up for that I really didn't want to, but I kind of really wanted the gift cards. So like, there were plenty of points in time, especially when I was under 18 and before I started printing out the art and stuff to try to sell that, where like all I had to depend off of, well, no, let me not say that, that's not all I had. The only way I had to make money was by getting the gift cards, and luckily this dude at the resource center, the one for people 15 to 24, he told me about the place downtown where I could even trade in the gift cards for half the money that was on there. So that's when I actually figured out how to actually make money from this. And so I signed up for this bullcrap quote unquote program that I mentioned in other videos. A little while after turning 18, the street cleanup crew, that's what I call it because I don't want to like give out too much info. I had asked them if I could still get the gift cards even though I'm going to be in school, or like, well, actually even before that, I asked them if I could get it even though I had a doctor's appointment, if I like bring in the doctor's note or something. They told me that I should be able to, and I just asked my quote unquote case manager with them, or whatever they call the lady, which I don't even want to go into the case manager bull crap. So I had emailed her about it. She didn't respond the first couple times, but eventually she did. And she told me no. And I'm like, I thought the point of this was to like encourage people to try to better their situation, and now you're telling me that I can't get a gift card because I'm in school. And it's some bull crap, because the thing is, unlike the other resource center for people 14 to 15 to 24, this place gives out two $25 gift cards. So when I turn those in, I'm getting... Wait, no. Yeah. When I turn those in, which is $50 in total, when I turn those in, I get $25 back. Honestly, that's still some bull crap now to think about it. But it's just, it adds up quicker after a while. And if I was able to get that, I would be able to get these tests so much quicker. Because the thing is, with the arthritis thing, standing outside in the heat, I mean, I always have to be outside anyway, but it's like holding that sign, trying to sell the art, and just standing there in one spot, even sitting down, and just waiting there is really painful for a lot of different reasons, to be honest. And it's like, if they would just give me the gift cards, which is what they get grant money to do, this could happen a whole lot quicker. Because the thing is, I already have some of the money saved up. So, like, I think I only need like $100 more. Cause wait a minute. I wanted to get a candida test. I forgot to mention that. I wanted to get that. Really wish I could just get the actual endoscopy and stuff, but I guess that's not gonna happen. So I'm doing what I can do. So I wanted to get that. That's $78, and then the nutrient deficiency test is like 109. No. It's 129, I think. And something, I think, I don't even remember, but yeah. So I almost have enough for the candida one, and I just need the money for the nutrient deficiency test. This is way too long, so I gotta stop recording. But yeah, so that's what's going on right now with the whole health thing. This will probably only even be public for like a little while.